Good morning, Ajahn.
Good morning.
Morning, everyone. Let us pay respect to Ajahn by bowing 3 times. First bow. Second bow. Third bow. We'll now invite Ajahn to lead us in the chanting.
Okay, so we start with the Buddha verse on loving kindness. Karaniyamatta. Okay, by the time yesterday was Ajahn Chayasaro's birthday, the 7th of January, and so this is his favorite sutta, the Karaniyamatta Sutta. He's born on Tuesday, so this is the sutta for the Tuesday people who born on Tuesday. So we will chant this the beautiful words of the Buddha. The Buddha was on loving kindness, and we will dedicate the merit to Ajahn Chayasaro. So may he have a long life and able to spread the Buddhism far away for people to be benefit from the teaching of Lord Buddha. Okay, so let's chant the Buddha was on loving kindness. Karaniya mattha kusalena yantaṃ santaṃ pataṃ apisameca sakko uchuca suhuchuca suvaco ca samuthu anatimani santus sakko ca suparo ca appakicco ca sallahu kavoti santintriyo ca nipako ca appakappo kulesu ananukittoนาจะคุดทั้งสมาจเรกินจิเยนะวินยูปะเรอุปวัตเทยยุงสุขิโนวาเคมิโนโหนตุสัพเพสัตตาภวันตุสุขิตาตาเยเกจิปานภูตาทิตสาวาทาวราวาอนวเสสาทีขาวาเยมหันตาวามัชชิมารัสกาอนุกทุระทิฏฐาวาเยจะอทิฏฐาเยจะทุเรวสันติอวิทุเรภูตาวาสัมภเวสีวาสัพเพสัตตาภวันตุสุขิตาตานาปโรปรังนิกุเพทนันติมันเยทกัตถจินังกินจิพยาโรสนาปฏิฆสัญญานัญญมัญญาสทุกขมิเฉยยมาตายธานิยังปุตตังอายุสาเอกปุตตมนุรักเขเอวัมปิสัพพภูเตสุมาณสัมภาวเยอปริมาณังเมตัญจะสัพพโลกัสมิงมานะสัมภาวะเยอปริมาณังอุทธังอโทจติริยันจะอสัมภาทังอเวรังอสปัตตังติทันจรังนิสินโนวาสยาโนวายาวตัสสวิคตมิทโทเอตังสติงอทิเทยปรัมมะเมตังวิหารังอิทมาหุทิทินจะอนุปคัมมสีลาวาทัสเนนะสัมปันโนกาเมสุวินัยเคทังนะหิชาตุคัพพะเสยยังปุณเรติติ So the translation. Now let us chant the Buddha's words on loving kindness. This is what should be done by one who is skilled in goodness and who knows the path of peace. Let them be able and upright, straightforward and gentle in speech, humble and not conceited, contented and easily satisfied, unburdened with duties, and frugal in their ways, peaceful and calm and wise and skillful, not proud and demanding in nature. Let them not do the slightest thing that the wise would rather reprove, wishing in gladness and in safety. May all beings be at ease, whatever living beings there may be, whether they are weak or strong, omitting none, the great or the mighty, medium, short or small, the seen and the unseen, those living near and far away, those born and to be born, May all beings be at ease. Let none deceive another or despise any being in any state. Let none through anger or ill will wish harms upon another, even as a mother protects with her life her child, her only child. So with a boundless heart, should one cherish all living beings, radiating kindness over the entire world, spreading upwards to the skies and downwards to the depths, outwards and unbounded, free from hatred and ill will, whether standing or walking, seated or lying down, free from drowsiness. One should sustain this recollection. This is said to be the sublime abiding, by not holding to fixed views, the pure-hearted one, having clarity of vision, being free from all sense desires, is not born again into this world. Okay, so now we will share our aspiration to all living beings. หันธรรมยังอุทิศนาทิธานาคาทายโยปนามาเสอิมินาปุญญากรรมเมนะอุปัชฌายาคุณุตรา อาจาริโยปการาจะมาตาปิตาจะยาตกา สุริโยจันทิมาราชากุณวันตานราปิจะพรหมมาราจะอินทาจะโลกัปปาราจะเทวตายโมมิตามนุสาจะมัชฌตตาเวริกาปิจะสัพเพสัตตาสุขีโหนตุปุญญานิปปตานิเมสุขันจะติวิทังเทนตุขิปังปาเปทโวมะตังอิมินาปุญญกรรมเมนะอิมินาอุทิเสนาจะขิปาหังสุรเพเจวะตันหุปาฐานาเชทนังเยสันตาเนหินาธรรมายาวะนิพพานโตมะมังนัสสันตุสัพพทาเยวะยัตถชาโตภเวภเวอุชุจิตังสติปัญญาสันเลโควิริยัมหินามาราระพันตุโนกาสังกาตุนจะวิริเยสุเมพุทธาธิปวโรนาโทธัมโมนาโทวรุตตโมนาโทปัจเจกพุทโธจะสังโฆนาโทตโรมะมังเตโสตมานุภาเวนะมาโรกาสังรัพพันตุมา Now let us chant the verses of sharing and aspirations. Through the goodness that arises from my practice, may my spiritual teachers and guides of great virtue, my mother, my father, and my relatives, the sun and the moon, and all virtuous leaders of the world, may the highest gods and evil forces, celestial beings, guardian spirit of the earth, and the Lord of death, may those who are friendly, indifferent, or hostile, may all beings receive the blessings of my life. May they soon attain the threefold bliss and realize the deathless. Through the goodness that arises from my practice, and through these acts of sharing, may all desires and attachments quickly cease, and all harmful states of mind, until I realize Nibbana in every kind of birth. May I have an upright mind, with mindfulness and wisdom, austerity and vigor. May the forces of delusion not take hold, nor weaken my resolve. The Buddha is my excellent refuge, unsurpassed is the protections of the Dhamma. The solitary Buddha is my noble guide. The Sangha is my supreme support. Through the supreme power of all this, may darkness and delusion be dispelled. Okay. Reflections on universal well-beings. หันธรรมยังเมตตาภารนังกโรมาเสอาหังสุขิโตโหมินิทุโคโหมิอเวโรโหมิอัพพยาปโชโหมิอานิโคโหมิสุขีอัตตานังปริหารามิ สัพเพสัตตาสุขิตาโหนตุสัพเพสัตตาอเวราโหนตุสัพเพสัตตาอัพยาปชาโหนตุสัพเพสัตตาอนิคาโหนตุสัพเพสัตตาสุขีอัตตานังปริหารันตุสัพเพสัตตาสัพพทุกขาปมุญจันตุสัพเพสัตตาลัทธสัมปติโตมาวิคัจฉันตุสัพเพสัตตากัมมัสสกากัมมทายาทากัมมโยนิกัมมพันธุกัมมปฏิสรณายังกัมมังกริสันติกัลยาณังวาปาปะกังวาตัสสะทายาทาภวิสันติ Now let us chant the reflections on universal well-beings. May I abide in well-being, in freedom from affliction, in freedom from hostility, in freedom from ill will, in freedom from anxiety, and may I maintain well-being in myself. May everyone abide in well-being, in freedom from hostility, in freedom from ill will, in freedom from anxiety, and may they maintain well-being in themselves. May all beings be released from all suffering, and may they not be parted from the good fortune they have attained. When they act upon intentions, all beings are the owners of their actions and inherit its results. Their future is born from such actions, companion to such actions, and its results will be their home. All actions with intention, be they skillful or harmful, of such acts, they will be the heirs. Sadhu, sadhu. Okay, so now we will chant the Mahasatipatthana Sutta, the last session, the benefit of this sutta. We do the Pali first. Okay, last part. Anisang Sakatha. Yo hiko jipik kawe ime jattaro satipattane ewang bhavaya sattavasani tassatavinnang phalanang anyatarang parang patikang khang thit heva dhamme anya sativa upati se anakhamita tithantu bhikkhawe sattavasani Yo hiko jipikkhave ime jattaro satipattane ewang bhavaya chavasani panchavasani jattari vasani tini vasani thave vasani ekang vasang tithattu bhikkave ekang vasang Yo hiko jipikkhave ime jattaro satipattane ewang bhavaya sattamasani tassatavinnang phalanang anyatarang parang patikang khang thit heva dhamme anya sativa upati se anakhamita tithantu bhikkave sattamasani Yo hiko jipikkhave ime jattaro satipattane ewang bhavaya chamasani panchamasani jattari masani tini masani thave masani ekang masang atthamasang tithattu bhikkave atthamaso Yo hiko jipikkhave ime jattaro satipattane ewang bhavaya sattahang tassatavinnang phalana anyatarang parang patikang khang thit heva dhamme anya sativa upati se anakhamita. Okay, so we do the translation. Go to the English one. Okay, the benefits of the establishment of mindfulness. Bhikkhus, if anyone should develop these 4 establishments of mindfulness in such a way for 7 years, one of 2 fruits could be expected for him, either final knowledge here or now, or if there is a trace of clicking left, non-returning, let alone 7 years bhikkhus. If anyone should develop these 4 establishments of mindfulness in such a way for 6 years, 5 years, 4 years, 3 years, 2 years, 1 year, let alone 1 year bhikkhus. If anyone should develop these 4 establishments of mindfulness in such a way for 7 months, one of 2 fruits could be expected for him, either final knowledge here and now, or if there is a trace of clicking left, non-returning, let alone 7 months bhikkhus. If anyone should develop these 4 establishments of mindfulness in such a way for 6 months, 5 months, 4 months, 3 months, 2 months, 1 month, half a month, let alone half a month bhikkhus. If anyone should develop these 4 establishments of mindfulness in such a way for 7 days, one of 2 fruits could be expected for him, either final knowledge here and now, or if there is a trace of clinking left, non-returning. Okay, and then the last one, the conclusion. Nikkammana Katha. เอกายโนอายังภิกขเวมัคโคสัตตานังวิสุทธิยาโสกปริเทวานังสมติกมายะทุกขโทมนัสสานังอัตถังขมายะญาญัสสะอธิขมายะนิพพานัสสะสัจฉิกิริยายะยัตถิทังจัตตารโอสติปัฏฐานาติอิติยันตังวุตตังอิทเมตังปฏิจจวุตตันติอิธรรมโวจะภควาอัตตมนาเตภิกขุภควโตภาสิตังอภินันทุนติ Conclusions. Bhikkhus, this is the direct path for the purifications of beings, for the surmounting of sorrow and lamentation, for the passing away of pain and dejection, for the attainments of the true way, for the realizations of Nibbana, namely the 4 establishments of mindfulness. It was with reference to this that it was said. This is what the Blessed One said. The bhikkhus were satisfied and delight in the Blessed One words. Mahasatipatthana Suttang Nittitang. The great discourse of the establishments of mindfulness is finished. Okay. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay, so we finished the Mahasatipatthana Sutta. Takes many months. Huh? Okay, so I think it's very good sutta to chant regularly. It's almost like the checklist for you to, if you meditate, it's good to know the step, what to do and how to contemplate, and what is the object of meditation of all this. Is happen to be 44 of this thing, and if you can't tell which one you are mindfulness of, then you probably not be mindful. You don't even know what the subject of mindfulness is. You know, mindfulness is doesn't float around. It have to be ground on some object. So whether that be body, feeling, mind, or the Dhamma, then you should know that which part of the object that you are working on, that you are mindfulness of. So it's very useful, and this is the only sutta where the Buddha gives guarantee as well. You know, this is the only one as far as I read many sutta, but the one that he really say, if you do it exactly what I'm saying, and then 7 years at the most, that you can, the Buddha give the guarantee seal, like, okay, this is what it, and then he know that somebody say, 7 years is a long time, so he reduced it down up to even 7 days. Okay, come on guys, you know, just do it. Okay, it's just you know, if you're not getting all defilement get rid of, then you be non-returner. I mean, that is what do you expect if you are really practicing correctly and through this 4 foundations of mindfulness. And this is the Buddha give the very benefit of if you want to go beyond this sorrow and lamentation, and this is only leading to to one place, which is Nibbana, and it's a one way. Ekayano. Ekayano is mean eka mean one, so it can mean many things. It can mean it's leading to one way. It's leading to one place, which is Nibbana, or it's a one way. Once you get in it, it's no two way. It's just you just go in there and leading to this one place. And it's also mean it was discovered by the one man, which is the Buddha. You can't find in any other teacher, because you need the power of knowledge, like the Buddha who had this on seeing, and he practicing barami for many lifetime. So it's only it's a for that one. And also here the people. So this is the individual path. And also one, and can also mean it's only in this Buddha dispensation, in Dhamma Vinaya. You can't find any other place. So it's very unique. It's a unique path. The for foundation of mindfulness, it's called Ekayana. Ekayana, one way, the excellent way, or the way of the excellent people. And you walk by yourself, and you're reaching the one destination, which is Nibbana, free from all suffering. And only mindfulness is there. It doesn't matter who teaching it. Being even like a Mettaya Buddha, he probably still teaching the same. So I think you can learn it. If you're not fully enlightened, you still need up till you see the next Buddha. You still have to use this guidance and teaching. Okay, so it's good to do it regularly. Practicing is I like the Pali. The Pali have a very precise meaning, and you can also learn Pali as well, reading the sutta and then line by line. Okay, see which one is coming from what, and then maybe learn a little bit of Pali together with the English as well. And also, if you find any wording that is you don't understand, then it's good to know the technical term in Pali, and then you can search for the meaning. This day, you can. There's so many places where you can study Pali. I recommend that there's another one come up. I saw it's very nice. It's called TPP, called Tipitaka application. It's very nice. What is the name of it? It's called Tipitaka Pali projection, something like that. TPP. You can download it. It's an app, and it's very nice. It has a Pali, and when you read it, you can basically highlight that, and on the left side, they have a dictionary for it. Okay, so it's called Tipitaka Pali Projector, TPP. Okay, and I really love this application. It is good for people who want to learn more about Pali, and it's very helpful. You just one click. This is like kind of the ideal application that I've been looking for a long time. But basically, it gives you many things. It gives you the meaning from different dictionary. It gives you the declensions. Gives you different kinds, and then also have the commentary. You just one click. If you want to go to the commentary, one click. Go to the sub commentary, you go another click. So you don't have to go and search so much. It's just in there in one whole idea. I'm not sure they have any translation. Maybe not. It's just in Pali. So, but you can learn by yourself. You just go one by one and just learn. It's good to learn it from original language, and you can find the translation either Ajahn Jeff, Tanisaru Piku homepage, the Access to Insight, or you can use a Piku Body translation, which is another nice. The one that we chant is merely coming from his translation, the Piku Body translation. So it's very useful, and learning a new language is very good, especially for people who getting old, getting Alzheimer and things. I think it's one way of keeping your mind active. Exploring the new learning language is an excellent way of make sure that your brain is still functioning well, and it's nothing better than study the Dhamma language. And if you happen to die, then you go to heaven, then they speak Pali, so you better learn it first. Otherwise you go to heaven and you can't speak to anybody. I'm kidding. I said when you're born in heaven, you automatically speak Pali, but I think it's good to learn it before, so you're expert in Pali and you can catch up quickly. Okay, if you go to Tawatingsa, there's a Sudhammasara there. There's the place where they teach the Dhamma. You can continue your study, but I doubt whether you will practice or not. You probably enjoy all this sense pressure, this beautiful sight and sound, thousands of times more delightful than the human world. So most people are lost. They are freaked out. So they not want to practice anymore. But they all have the expiration date. It depends on your karma. Certain state you can live eons of eons, maybe millions of years, but then you still come back. It's like a vacation, very long vacation. But people with the wise people, they will use the opportunity. It's good you go to heaven and you can learn, but there are no asupa there. So it's very difficult to learn about unattractiveness of the body because everybody is so beautiful. So I think you better learn it here in human being, how unattractive the body is. Learning about your own body, you have to take a bath every day, brush your teeth. You don't have to do that when they don't even have a toilet in the heaven. The food is so refined, nothing come out at the other end, just eat and it's all digested and well used. So it's no toilet there. You can enjoy Zen pressure without having live up to the toilet. You can watch the movie 24 hours, or series that you want, and enjoy or video game. Who knows? So it's gonna be perfect place for people who want the Zen pressure. But for people who want to practice, they'll be actually disappointed. There's a story. One monk who are practicing very hard. He walking jongkom, sitting meditate, walking jongkom, but he overdo himself. He fasting for so long, and he passed away on the jongkom path while he was walking, and he don't know that he passed away, but right away he go up to heaven. So he go up to heaven. He's still walking jongkom, and then all the nymphs come down and surround him and say, and because he was a monk before, he was very restrained. He doesn't want to look. And then all these nymphs just said, you look at you. They said, you must be a monk before because you're not really very restrained, eye downcast. So they brought the mirror, the big mirror. They said, look, and he looked. Yeah, you see, he's not no longer a monk. So when you die, if you're a monk, you're no longer a monk. You become, your appearance like the deva. So he know that I'm already died and I'm reborn in heaven. And for the people who practice, rather than enjoy, this is what I'm practicing for. No, actually he was disappointed. And the sutta is very nice. It's comparable, like you are the wrestler and you're watching for the trophy, but when you do it and then they give you some handful of some kind of very not worthy of maybe some pack of cake, piece of cake or something like that. So he very disappointed and said, I'm practically, I don't want to be in heaven. I want to get enlightened. So they all bring, he bring all his wife, go to see the Buddha, listen to the Buddha talk. And then he said, I'm surrounded by this. For him, even the garden of pleasure in heaven, he said, this is like the cemetery full of people who are going to be dying and things. So he asked the Buddha to give his teaching, and the Buddha gave a very nice teaching, and he got stream enterer. he become enlightened there. And once he become Supreme Emperor, then he go and enjoy the same pleasure as heaven. So even now he he got the first step. Of course, he will be at least at the most 7 more life, and he will entering Nibbana. So this is say even though he's a monk before, and he still thrive when he was reborn in heaven and he got Supreme Emperor, he still get lost in being in heaven, because in heaven you can't ordain. There's no way that you can be a monk there. So the only thing that you can be is you can be just whatever the deva. You can maybe go to listen to the Dhamma regularly. That's one way. But again, you don't have a place for you to donate. You don't have a field of merit. So you only use of whatever merit that you do when you are in the human world. You go there, you almost like benefit from the result of what you do when you were in the human world. So yeah, that's why being born as human is very precious, and it's only place where you can practice. You can go as high as you can, and there's so many kammatthana, object of meditation that you can pick and choose. The asubha is one. 32 part, this thing doesn't have in the heaven. They can't do that. So that's the thing that we are more equipped with object of meditation as a human being. Okay, so that will be enough for the Mahasatipatthana Sutta, and now we will do the Sila.
We will now request for the 3 refuge, 5 and 8 precepts together. We'll begin by bowing 3 times. Bow. Second bow. Third bow. Mayang bante ti saranena saha atta pancha silani yachama dutiyampi mayang bante ti saranena saha atta pancha silani yachama natiyampi mayang bante ti saranena saha atta pancha silani yachama.
นะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะพุทธังสรณังคัจฉามิพุทธังสรณังคัจฉามิธัมมังสรณังคัจฉามิธัมมังสรณังคัจฉามิสังฆังสรณังคัจฉามิสังฆังสรณังคัจฉามิยัมปิพุทธังสรณังคัจฉามิยัมปิพุทธังสรณังคัจฉามิยัมปิธัมมังสรณังคัจฉามิยัมปิธัมมังสรณังคัจฉามิยัมปิสังฆังสรณังคัจฉามิดุติยัมปิสังฆังสรณังคัจฉามิติยัมปิพุทธังสรณังคัจฉามิตติยัมปิพุทธังสรณังคัจฉามิตติยัมปิธัมมังสรณังคัจฉามิตติยัมปิธัมมังสรณังคัจฉามิตติยัมปิสังฆังสรณังคัจฉามิตติยัมปิสังฆังสรณังคัจฉามิมนังนิธิตัง
อามาบันเต
ปานาติปาตาเวรมณีสิกขาปะทังสมาธิยามิ
ปานาติปาทาเวรมณีสิกขาปะทังสมาธิยามิ
นาทานาเวรมณีสิกขาปะทังสมาธิยามิ
อาดีนาดานาเวรมณีสิกขาปะทังสมาธิยามิ
กาเมสุมิชฌาจาราเวรมณีสิกขาปะทังสมาธิยามิ
กาเมสุมิจฉาจาระเวรมณีสิกขาปะทังสมาธิยามิ
มุสาวาทาเวรมณีสิกขาปะทังสมาธิยามิ
มุสาวาทาเวรมณีสิกขาปะทังสมาธิยามิ
กาเมระยะมัชฌปมาทัฏฐานาเวรมณีสิกขาปะทังสมาธิยามิ
สุราเมรยามัจจาปมาทัฏฐานาเวรมณีสิกขาปะทังสมาธิยามิ
Okay, so now for the 8th preceptor, Apramajariya Veramani Sikha Padang Samadhiyami.
Apramajariya Veramani Sikha Padang Samadhiyami.
Vikara Pochana Veramani Sikha Padang Samadhiyami.
Vikara Pochana Veramani Sikha Padang Samadhiyami.
ตัจจคีตวาทิตวิสุปทัสสนามาราคันทะวิเลปนะธารณมันดนะวิภูสนัฏฐานาเวรมณีสิกขาปะทังสมาธิยามิ
นัจจคิตาวาทิตวิสุขาทัสสนามาลากันทะวิเลปนะธารณมันดนะวิภูสนัฏฐานาเวรมณีสิกขาปะทังสมาธิยามิ
กาสยนาเวรมณีสิกขาปะทังสมาธิยามิ
ชาสยนามหาสยนาเวรมณีสิกขาปะทังสมาธิยามิ
อิมานิปัญจอัฏฐสิกขาปทานิสมาธิยามิ
อิมานิอัตถสิกขาปทานิสมาธิยามิอิมานิอัตถสิกขาปทานิสมาธิยามิอิมานิอัตถสิกขาปทานิสมาธิยามิ
สีเลนะสุขติยันติสีเลนะโภคสัมปทาสีเลนะนิพพุติยันติตัสสมาสีลังวิโสทะเย
สาธุสาธุสาธุ We will now formally request for the Dhamma Talk. Brother, you can go ahead. Request. Brother, you can go ahead to request for the Dhamma Talk. It's okay, I will request. Brahma Chaloka Dipati Sahampati Katanjali Ana Diwarang Ayachata Santi Dasata Haraja Kajatika Dese to Dhamma Anukam Imang Pajang
นะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโต อะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะพุทธังธัมมังสังฆังนามัสสามิ Okay, so Happy New Year again. So this is the first week after the New Year's. It's 8th of January. So many of you might have some New Year resolution. I hope that you are having some inspiration to practice more. I guess having a very difficult years this past year 2020 is many difficult for many people. So a lot of things that probably the new year before we haven't thought that it's gonna be happen like this. It's a lot of change, uncertainty of what can happen. So surprising seem to be come up again and again. There are some news about the new strains of mutations in certain part of the virus, and it's get even more infectious. And so we not even know how long we can be in this situation. So this is the New Year's that for the monks is probably of all the years, 20 more years that I've become a monk, this is the most quiet New Year of all. And I probably wouldn't say that I'm disappointed. Actually, I'm quite enjoyed to tell you the truth. This is just, I guess, mention the New Year's is the big thing, and I think it's only maybe within the past decade or so. I mean, the things about the chantings until the next day, the midnight kind of. I guess it is because in the world they kind of go out and party and drunk, and then do a lot of probably unskillful thing, waiting for this clock to be hitting midnight, and everyone say Happy New Year, and they kiss, and then all the fireworks and all those things pop up. So okay, in a way that is what happening in the world. So for people who are more in Dhamma, they don't want to freak out during that day, and so they kind of turn that around to have some more tradition of, usually you have like a practice maybe few days before and few days after. So the New Year is kind of the marker of something new, and because of that we have to have something celebration at the midnight. So the traditions of the chanting from one year to the other year is kind of picking up, and over the year people are quite enjoyed, I guess. For some reason, I think part of it, even some people who not usually go to the monastery, sometimes they just go to the monastery once a year, but on New Year for some reason they come to the monastery to do this all-night chanting, which is very impressive. And it turned out that I think somehow they feel guilty. So doing, they basically lost whole year with the worldly thing, whatever, making money, whatever they're doing. But at least once a year, they consider, okay, I will start up with the right food. Basically, I will go to the monastery and do this kind of ritual, you can say, like a chanting. So it's become, in Thailand, it's picking up, and a lot of monastery that I've been, people come for that particular occasion to mark the New Year with the chanting. And I think it's good. I like it. I think it's good to start the new year. And I always say that to start a new day, the first word that coming from your mouth, it should be something nice, something Dhamma, something the truth, something that is eternal truth. It come out of your mouth every day when you start the day. That's why I love morning chanting so much, because you wake up first thing you think is, okay, my first thing that come out of my mouth would be this word of the Buddha. So in the same way, in the first year, then you at least you kind of realign or you compass, you set in your compass, okay, I want to walk this direction. And either you can do it the rest of the year is another story, but at least in the beginning you start to with the right direction. Okay, I mean, of course, you probably go to the monastery, you keep the precept. So you got a pretty nice start. You start with the not doing harm to yourself, to people around you, and chanting these beautiful words of the Buddha, and yeah, and enjoy the countdown without being drunk and all these things that come with it. So I think this tradition is good, and people come for that. It has some benefit in that. But again, when this unexpected situation where the infectious and the virus thing, so it's basically like in Thailand, there's an announcement from the Mahathera said that they're not allowed to have this gathering because they obviously they don't want to have people come together and open their mouths and speaking. There will be the focus of contamination and infectious. So even like in my temple is basically you celebrate it quietly. We have some Zoom. Yeah, I participate in some people who are doing overnight over the Zoom. They have many monks coming, maybe 1 or 1.5 hour each session, and people just watching, and then over midnight the monks will chanting in their own prayers. So that what happened in this new year. And a part of the new year, usually we want okay, so I think the resolution is good that we have some commitment, and we basically say out loudly for maybe the Buddha Rupa or whatever to witness would commit. I will commit to this and this and this. So some of you may already have one, or if any of you don't have any New Year resolution due to the discipline, I mean that you can choose, and I think it's like playing tennis or something. It's the best for you is that you play to the player who are a little bit better than you keep up. If the player is too good for you, it's no hope, because every time you play you lost. So you have to pick the right player that a little bit better than you. Okay? The same way when you're gonna pick the practice or whatever things, you have to know yourself what I'm a level at this, and maybe a little bit pushing a little bit more. Okay, so yeah, advice, I think, like for example, you can the resolution about the precept. Okay, if you have the 5 precept, then you push it for more. Whatever precept that you feel that you can practice, and maybe try once a week or twice a week. Whatever 8 precept or something that you can make some determination, and then something that works for you. That not too much, because then if it's too much for you, then you can't keep it. That if it's too little, then you're not. You have to do anything. You already achieved that. So a little bit better, more than you used to. Or say if you sit meditate for 45 minutes, maybe you can up to like an hour or an hour and a half. Some kind of push a little bit more, and you learn more. In various way. Stop drinking, smoking. I think you can't drinking and smoking with your mask on now, which is one of the things that's benefit that you can't smoking and drinking with your mask on. But you can have the same thing, like say maybe some sugar things, some cake and thing, or some, you can maybe move a little bit toward the 8th precept by, okay, maybe not solid food after dusk or whatever. I mean, it is the thing you can creative, okay, so you can, so you don't have to worry so much about eating. That's the whole game about the sila. Then you can focus on that, on the training the mind. So whatever object in any way, or you can study sutta more, spend more time, maybe half an hour reading the sutta, and or listen to the talk of the teacher. So that's a thing that you can do, have the kind of like a reward for yourself. Maybe after a long day of work, I will set up time for me to be enjoying sitting quietly for 20 minutes, listen to a Q&A from the great Ajahn for another 20 minutes, or whatever you can pick up the right level for you. That is a good New Year resolution. So yeah, I hope that work for you, and whatever practice that you take up, then try to stick with it. One way is that not to, rather than okay, every day I have to do certain hour, maybe it might not be flexible enough. You can set up the goal like in a week. I will do say 4 hours a week, something like that. You can divide it up. If any day that you can't do it, then you can add it up on the next day. In that way, you can have more popular, able to achieve that better than having a strict, because as a layman, sometimes something unexpected come up and you can't keep it a schedule. Okay, so I think that is the thing, that the resolution, something that good to make on the New Year's. And so today I will maybe bring up some sutta which I really like a lot, especially this time when the social distancing is talking much about, like in Thailand, we have to go back to the social distancing again because the infections start to creep up again. There's one sutta in the Pali particularly that I like. It's called Upali Sutta. Actually, Upali is the name of the disciple of the Buddha who excelled in Vinaya. Vinaya is the training rules of the monk. So Upali, he used to be a barber. For some reason, he are keen on keeping the rules and know exactly, almost like a judge who tells, is this wrong, this is allowable, this is not allowable, and he become later on he become the excel in that, and actually the one of Tipitaka, the first part of Tipitaka is called Vinaya Pitaka, is by memorized by Upali. So he's one of the great disciple during the Buddha time. And when we do this recitation, when we decide upon which sutta or which part of the teaching of the Buddha that we will chant first, and they come upon, everybody decided that the Vinaya is most important. Having the Vinaya then is the life of the Buddha's dispensation depend upon the Vinaya, depend on discipline. If the Vinaya gone, if people not keep discipline anymore, then no longer the true teaching of the Buddha available. So that's why they put the emphasis on the Vinaya first. So we have the Vinaya, Sutta, and the Abhidhamma. So Sila, Samadhi, and Panya. Vinaya is for keeping the precept. Sutta is for the Samadhi, and then Abhidhamma is for wisdom. So you have Tripitaka coincide with the threefold training, one by one, like that. So the Upali is very famous for Vinaya, and but this sutta is not really well known, because most of the Upali sutta is about Vinaya, about the 10 reasons why the Buddha laid down the Vinaya, many things about the Vinaya. But this particular sutta is in Anguttara Nikaya, in numerical discourse. Actually, it's very nice to know what's going on in the mind of the Upali. Okay, so on one occasion, the Upali go approaching the Buddha and ask the Buddha that he want to go to the forest. He want to use the quietness of the forest to practice. I think as a monk, everybody kind of we want to go for seclusion. The reason we have become a monk because we love to be in nature. We want to be by ourselves. But actually, in the beginning of being a monk life, is you have to be with the community first, because you have to learn the Vinaya first, and only place where you learn the Vinaya is where all the other monk is. And actually, you have to learn how to, let's say, take care of your Vajaya, your teacher, and you have to learn basic skill of living by yourself or being the monk. What is how to go for alms, how to push on the ropes, and how to sew it, how to mend it if it's broken. All these things that you have to learn as being a monk, and also many sutta that you have to learn, like Patimokkha, all the rule. So it's not like when you ordain right away you can go out in the forest and practice. Actually, no. You have to be in the community first. At least for the first 5 years, you have to be within the community. But of course, for Upali, he probably beyond that. But he go to the Buddha, thinking that everybody go to the forest. Anya Kontanya, he should go to the deep forest practicing. So Upali too, he want to go. So say what the Buddha tell Upali. He said that Upali, the forest, is difficult actually to be delight in seclusion in the forest, and to be alone, to be glad in being alone is very difficult, because normally the forest bring like fear, some usually will shape your mind. Will be like say maybe the sound of the wind, or sound of the tree trunks, or the tiger or the elephant. Actually, in Ajahn, I just went for the Katina. There's the wild elephant come out and then stomp on the monk on the way to Pintapata and kill one of the monk right there, going for Pintapat. And who knows, if you face the elephant, then it's a chance that you can be killed as well. Okay, so that's why it's not easy to be in the forest. And if somebody say that I didn't got the samadhi, I didn't got the concentration, I will use the forest, to meditate, to benefit of the quietness of the forest, to meditate, to got the one pointed of mind, to be concentration. That person, there will be two things that person will be expected to have. One is the mind will be sinking down. The other one is the mind will be floating up. So actually, the Buddha didn't encourage in the beginning to go to the forest without equipped with anything. And then the Buddha give the simile. He said, Upali, it's like the big elephant, very tall. It's about 3 or 4 meters tall. It's quite very tall. This elephant come up to the very big pond, and elephant said, "Yeah, this is nice pond, and I will go in. I will use my trunk to basically bathe, put water around my head, my ears, my back." So the elephant usually play with water. They just use this trunk to spread the water around, and it's very enjoy. They can kind of play with the water, drinking a little bit, bathe, and then go up and then walk wherever this elephant want. Why? Because the elephant is big. They can have a place where they can have a ground. The food can reach the ground, even though the pool is deep, but the elephant is also big, so they can find a stepping step for the grounding, and then they can play with the water. But compared to the rabbits or the cats, the rabbit and the cat will look at the elephant and say, "Look at that. This is animal. I'm animal. This animal has a 3 feet. I'm also have a 3 feet. So who are these elephant? I'm also capable. So they go in the same deep forest, but they can't find the food for their grounding, and they get drowned in this big pool. And the Buddha said this is the same thing. The forest is like the deep big pool of water. Actually, you need to practice yourself. You have to turn yourself from the rabbit or a cat to be the elephant first, to enjoy the benefit of living in the forest. Otherwise, you will not you will not able to benefit. Actually, you have the opposite effect. This is true. I mean, I'm living in Wat Pananachat. We once a year we went in the forest in Tao Dam. It's a natural very big piece of forest, thousand of acres, close to the Burmese border. It's a very beautiful place. In summer, probably the best place because it's very cool. There's a mini stream, and we set up the tent and spend all day, usually meditate and things. But that sometimes we have the pakao, the one who preparing to be the novice, go there, and they freak out. Sometimes they are even almost lost their mind. They get lost in the forest and things. Usually what happens is that they don't have a good sila. You have to have the good sila to be content with yourself. Otherwise you go crazy. You go in there. So I see it again and again with that. So the Buddha say, was give another metaphor. He said, look, there was the baby who just born. When this baby born, is play with its own urine and feces, and this is normal, right? When the baby doesn't know, they just play with this feces, with this urine. But later on, when this baby grow up, when they have more strong body, then he play a small car, small cart, small this and that, small arrow. Is it the case that this is more refined than playing with their own urine and feces? And the Buddha said, yes, of course. And he said, yeah, again, when this boy grow up, he play with the toy is getting more refined. And when it's going to teenager, they will be more kind of enjoy their sight and see their body, kind of maybe the opposite sex or whatever. It's more refined than the toy that they have before. And it is the same way, the Buddha said, for the monks, when they turn into this life of mendicant of this samana, then they first, what happened to them is they come across the teaching of the Buddha first, and it's all the quality of the Buddha. The Buddha is getting enlightened by himself, teacher of the world, and all these 9 qualities of the Buddha. And then he decided being a householder is narrow and cramped. It's a way of, it's a very dusty. It's a lot of the potential to be annoying because of this, the way the secular the lay life is set up yourself for many conflicts. It's very difficult to keep the holy life pure as a conscious polish. So he decided to give up this life of the lay people, and then shave their beard and shave their head and then become ordained. So they're keeping all the precepts. It's the same precept that you just chant, but it's more. This is called the basic precept. For the monk, we have the 10 precept, which is actually more. The one more is about handling money, because the money is a thing that you go and buy sense object with that money. So the monks is renounce all these things. So we really rely on people. So we have the same precept that you just chant, but on top of that, we have this precept about not receiving money And then there's so many other defining precepts as well, like the monk not supposed to dig the soil or cut the tree, or or other different. Is going to all the detail of the monk's life. Actually, this is for Upali, of course. He was a Vinaya, so we don't have to give more detail about what it means to be a monk, giving up of this and that, and then the monk will be happy with just the ropes to put on. We have the 3 ropes, and we have a baking bowl. So this is very light. You want to go anywhere, you just go. All you need is a baking bowl and a rope. So it's pretty free. It's very simple. First, of course, you're simple. You rely on the generosity of other people. Each day you start up with meal. You don't have anything. You have a baking bowl. You go out, people feed you, and then just good enough for you to find the root of the tree and to practice. So that's the first thing, to have this kind of the we call the Ariya, the noble sila, the training of the noble one. And then when you have that, then your sense restraint, seeing the sight, hearing the sound, smelling the smell, the tasting the tongues, and touching the tactile object. This you have to be restrained, not to let the unwholesome thought, the thought of sensual pleasure, the thought of harming harming other living beings. Then you have this kind of the noble sense restraint. I think this is very relevant in this day when we have this gadget of that potential of distraction all the time, called the weapon of massive distraction. So you can distract you. Sometimes you don't know, you go and find something and you look at this and that, and before long you spend 3 or 4 hours with this screen. So that is called that's why it's called a weapon of massive distraction. So you have to be very restrained on what you see and hear, and a lot of things it doesn't bring up closer to the truth. A lot of things is just gossiping, rumor here and there, sometimes fake news. So we have to be aware of that and make use of this technology skillfully. Of course, if we don't have that technology, we can't have this conversation now. So it's a very good way of that. Of course, now you can hear the teaching of the Buddha, of the great teacher, just one click. It's just so unbelievable. But in the same time, also you can distract it at the speed as well. So you have to be very mindful of that. Okay, and then you have to have this, the same that we chant in the Mahatipatthana Sutta, the session about the sati sampachanya, the awareness of the body. When you sitting, you know that you're sitting. When you're walking, you're standing, you're lying down. Any minor movement, when you stretch your finger, when you hold it, or whatever, when you touch the glass of water, any detail, even when you go for defecation, urination, when you eat and drink, all the way, is continuously, what are you doing. This is very important. It's not just knowing, like, okay, say I'm walking, I know that I'm walking. You have to know more than that. Okay, in Pali it's called pachanati. Pachanati. If you chant, it's all the same. Pachanati. And maybe if you chant, we spend many months now finishing this Mahasatipatthana Sutta. Maybe I give some homework for you. Go back and find out how many pachanati are there in this Mahasatipatthana Sutta. Go and count how many pachanati. Okay, I give you an answer maybe next week. Okay, pachanati is very important because pa is mean pakarena, mean different way. Chanati mean to know. Normally they translate as to know clearly. Okay, that's one translation, but it's not all. The pachanati is not only mean to know clearly, but it have to mean in various kind of way. But pa is mean pakarena. It's different. What is meaning that when you walk, you have to ask your question of who is doing this walking. This walking belong to who, and what is the purpose of this walking? So that what called pachanati. See, so it's not just knowing that I'm the one who walk, but actually it's just the body of walking. The body is different than mine. Normally you identify with it. The body is mine, therefore I'm walking. But actually, wait a minute, don't go that far first. Okay, it's just the body that doing the moving. The movements belong to the body. The body is material. It's just the elements coming together in what we call this body. And of course, you need the mind as well to able to generate this posture, shifting posture from sitting to walking to laying down to standing. So it have to be initiated from the mind, but the mind with the intention to shift the posture, then it's walk. See, it's not me and my, it's just the body. So this again is come again. The Buddha is very precise when using the word. When he see the body, it means the body. So, like in the Vinaya, I talk to have money, but we can appreciate whatever the forerequisite that come out of that money. For example, if you want to give the money to the monks, the monk have to say no. The monk not receive the money, but you can say, okay, maybe I can leave it with somebody, and if you need anything, you can come and ask that body, that person, and that person will fight for you. So this is allowable. So basically, you have to fight kapiya, the steward. So you leave. You can be the monk steward as well. You can say, venerable, if you need anything, let me know. I will take care of that. Then the monk can go and then ask you directly. Or if you don't have time, you can maybe find the people around the monk, maybe in the temple where he can attend to the monk, whatever the monk needs. So you can leave the money with that steward, and then go back to the monk and say, okay, I leave maybe 500 baht, whatever, with that such and such person. If the venerable need anything, go and ask him. So the monk can go and ask him. And when the monks go, you can't go and tell, okay, go and buy this and buy that. No, because it's not your money. The money still belongs to the owner, but the owner doesn't have time to follow you around, so he leave it with somebody. You can't go and then you can tell that particular person. And the word that the Buddhas tell that you can use is that you tell that the body needs the ropes. See, it's not you actually, it's the body. The body needs a rope, which is true. The body needs a rope. It's not you need a rope. The body needs a rope. And if that steward go and use that money and go and buy the rope for that body, and you can receive it. It's considered allowable. So these are, and again, the way the wording is make you very mindful when you say, okay, when you go and then you say, whatever you need, you just say, okay, the body needs that. It's just very, very, very skillful way of using the word. Okay, this is the same thing when you walk, it's just the material, the rupa, the material thing that do with the walking is belong to this material thing. And what the reason for walking? If you notice very carefully, you see that because of suffering. Okay, the Buddha said we don't see suffering because this changing posture cover up. See, when the suffering, actually when you have certain pain, you can't stay in one posture all the time. If you're happy, what is the reason why you shift the posture? The reason is that you're not happy. The stress or the suffering, the conflict is kind of oppressing you all the time, making you shifting and changing all the time. So that's why the suffering is happening right here and there. Actually, it's happening every moment. You can't stay. If you're happy, then you can just sit still. You don't have to move an inch because you're so happy. But you can't. Once in a while, your pain pop up here, and then you have to move. Okay, now you can move. I even come down to the breathing. I mean, if you're really happy, you don't have to breathe. but you can't. You have to breathe in and out. That in itself is already suffering. Basically, follow your body, make it changing all the time. You breathing in, you have to breathing out and in and out, even tiny. And actually, they will even say that the life is meaning that you have to chipping and changing all the time. I mean, that's a fact of life. So this is the fact of suffering right there. If you be mindful enough to see that, and the posture is very clear. If you're happy, then you just sit. You don't have to move, but you're not. After a while, the suffering amount can go up to the point where you can't keep in that posture anymore. You have to shift. Okay, and you feel release a little bit, and then after a while, the tension start up again, and you have to shift again. See, that is how it works. So this is the very, when you have mindfulness, you can see through the thing that you can call self. See, in order to call self, it has to be permanent, right? Anything that's changing, then what can you call self? It has to be permanent, and it has to be happiness, and you have to be under your control to be called yourself. But if there are none of that quality, it's changing all the time, it's becoming something else all the time, and it's very suffering. It doesn't bring any long-lasting happiness. The happiness is just illusion for you to move toward that, and then it's very short life, and then the suffering come up, and then it's not under your control. It's according to the causes and condition. Of course, now your neuron is still working, everything is working, so you tell, okay, I want to shift that. It's follow your command, but it's because all these other factor are in position. If you have paralyzed, then you can't. You have to lay down without, can't move anything. So that's why every time you go back to that mindfulness, you can see the reality reveal itself, that is changing all the time, it's suffering, and it's not belong to you, not under your command. So this is called the noble sati sampachanya, the mindfulness and clear comprehension of the noble one. So this is what we call the quality for you to have first before you go out to seek seclusion. So it's like the rabbit and the cat becoming an elephant. So you need to practice this noble sila, a noble precept, the noble insriya samvara, the restraint of sense restraint, and the noble clear comprehension and mindfulness. So this is a kind of pre-existing condition for you to enjoy being seclusion. That's why social distancing is so much for many people, because they don't have this at all. They're like the rabbit and the cat going in a big pond, it is called drowning. So being isolation for them is very horrible. I mean, even now, you being this day, you can, if you have internet, then you can distract yourself, but people still unhappy about trapping in their home for 14 days. But if you know how to be with yourself, if you have this quality, if you pure in your precept, you have a livelihood that is not harming other being. You not hate yourself. Many people don't want to be with themselves because they hate themselves. When they look at themselves, they don't see anything good about it. So they have to keep distracting themselves all the time, going out, have a party, enjoy. Yeah. So the first thing is to be nice to yourself. And the thing that to be nice to yourself is you have to act in the way that you can respect yourself. You have to have the moral precept that, okay, your life is not, at least you're not harming other beings. You earn the living in the rightful way. And then you have to have a self-restraint to know the benefit of having this. You have to know the danger of sense pressure and the benefit of refrain from that. And you have to have a sati, mindfulness, and clear comprehension, sampachanya. So this thing you have to have first, and then you can enjoy. You can enjoy being seclusion, being alone. Like last time I mentioned the word that Buddha says, sukho viveko tuthasa. Sukho is happiness, viveko is seclusion. Normally we not see these two things together. For people who enjoy sense pleasure, sukho, happiness, have to be with many other people. Being by yourself is the most punishment. That's why they have this called the social, when prisoner doing something bad, they have to kind of one man, you say by yourself, is considered one of the hard punishment in the world. But as a noble, actually, this is we enjoy it and being by oneself. But you have to have this quality. You have to have mindfulness and clear comprehension. And in the verse that I mentioned last week is Sutta Dhamma Sapassato, for the one who is content to and then seeing the Four Noble Truths. If you content, if you're living simple, you have the livelihood, you have sense restraint, you have mindfulness and clear comprehension, and you see the Four Noble Truths, and you will find that okay, by being seclusion actually is it's very good because you can know about yourself. It's like you have a control study. Your body and mind is the lab, and the present moment, you go back to the present moment, you learn that this body and mind that you call me and mine is the truth that it belongs to you. So you reveal this kind of the truth manifest itself, the truth of changing all the time, the truth of suffering, imposing all the time, keep shipping and changing all the time because of the suffering, and then it's not under your control. Of course, you can be part of it. Intention is part of it. You can intend to do that, but not in overall control. It depends on many causes and conditions. Only the causes and conditions come together when the result can happen. So with that, then the seclusion can be beneficial. And the Buddha go on, like when you have these things, then you go to the secluded place, the forest, the cave, or whatever, free from homes, far away from people, and sit cross-legged. Put your mind in front of you, and then you basically your job is now to see to get rid of the 5 hindrances. They're called 5 hindrances. See, the thing is, they call 5 hindrances because you have the goal that not in line with this. That's why it's become obstruction hindrances. If you not have any goal, then this is not your hindrances. Actually, you enjoy it. Sense pressure, for most people, they really enjoy. That's it. The meaning of their life, to enjoy the sense pressure one way or the other. Purpose. You want it to be a sense. The sense itself is become hindrances. Actually, the object is not the problem. It's the mind that clinging to that object. So you have to see this is what the problem. You keep creating your own suffering by craving sense object, and then you slowly use different kind of technique to get rid of these hindrances. Of course, the hindrances of sense pressure, you can use azubha now. Contemplate on unattractiveness of the body, the hindrances of the harmful intention, payapata. You can use the metta, loving kindness, the tinamita, sleepy. You can use the words of the perception of light, the restlessness and remorse. Then you can use the maybe anapanasati, the calming down the mind, focus on the breathing, and vicikiccha, the doubt. Then you can use the study the sutta, seeing the Buddha, study about this quality, and meet with the sangha that is well practiced, and then you will be doubt. So when you able to abandon these 5 hindrances, then you start to develop this jhana, the concentration. The first jhana is basically to lift the mind, the vitakka, applying the mind to one object. Whatever that object be maybe somebody in the old day they used this the kind of the red color called pasina, one way, or you can use the metta. It can be by itself. I really like it, the metta. You can, when you walk meditation, may I be well, may I be wise, may I be free, and like that. When you walk, every time you walk, may I be well, may I be wise, may I be free. It's just kind of become, every time you walk, it becomes your meditation. And actually it's very helpful when you sit meditate, that power of generosity, of giving up and sharing and being friend with all living beings is happening when you sit meditate. It's very helpful in terms of meditation. And then the list go on to the second, third, fourth jhana and go to the arupa jhana, the space of the emptiness of the air, emptiness of consciousness, boundless of consciousness, and no worry about anything. And then the last one is neither perception nor non-perception. And then the last one is actually sanya vedita nirodha, the extinction of the feelings and perception, which is only the noble being can achieve that. And so the Buddha said that, and each step is go in order. When you reach the next step, you know that okay, actually this step I need this seclusion for me to sustain this, and that's why to prepare yourself before you go in the forest, before you find the seclusion, is very important, very key, whether you can be successful in meditate or not. And then the Buddha end up the sutta with reassuring Upali that Upali, you don't have to go. For you, it's fine to be with the community. And actually for him is the best. For him too, and for the community as well. The fact that we have the Vinaya, the book of discipline, is because Upali stay with the community by learning the way the Buddha laid out the rules, memorize this, and then know all the detail, which is wrong, which is not wrong, where the Buddha draw the line in different category. And he learned all of that and understand that. That's why we have this very comprehensive Vinaya rules about the monks. And it's very useful to learn, to study. For you to have the sila, then you need to know in detail. So, and for me, I really amazing for me. Like I never thinking of, say, people come together. Like in Nanachat, we have these Vinaya hours where we spend hours, maybe 1 or 2 hours each day discussing about the rules. And can you see anywhere in the world where people come together to discuss about how to be honest, how to speak the truth, maybe for the whole month, just how to say the truth? It's totally the opposite this way, right? I mean, people think how to manipulate the truth so they to benefit themselves, like all the lawyer or the things that they do. But to do the opposite, what is the purpose of this rule? Because we know directly how that affects our mind. Okay, how keeping the truth, this is your own moral compass. You have to keep it very accurate. If you don't have that, then you don't have anything else. So you need this moral compass, and to be able to sit down and talk about why this is wrong or not. This is okay, this is allowable, this is not. You have to be careful in this area. It's very quite detailed. So that's why in a monk is very uncompromised. It's just, but we can do it because we are monk. This is our purpose. This is our life for. We are, our occupation is to keep the precept, and we don't have to compromise. We just, okay, this is what we do. If we break it, we accept it, and we confess, and we try make this determination to do it better next time. So this is the way of our preparing ourselves to become the elephant. When we go in the deep pool, then we can have the standing ground. Without that, then it's very difficult to practice. So you can learn too. I mean, all the Parachika rules of the monks, the main rule about killing, stealing, bragging about supernatural power, and then killing, having sexual intercourse. This is for grave rules that you have to be expelled from the monk. But in a way, the lay people can learn about that too, because your 5 precepts is rely on that. See, all this causing condition for you to break this is all detailed in the monk's book of discipline. So yeah, I mean, I know that being a lay people is you're not really keen much on learning about Vinaya, but I think it's many aspects of Vinaya that can be useful as well. And if you learn it well, it's actually keep your sattha, the faith in the teaching. This is laid out by the perfect enlightenment. He really know what he's doing. The discipline is very precise, and it's very helping you, guiding you along the way toward enlightenment. So you need a very firm ground of the discipline and rules, and that is not something that is kind of imposed or a command on you, but you want to take it because you know this is the form that helping you to work with this form. It will free you from all suffering. But you, human being, you need the rule, you need the framework for you to work with. And Vinaya is very great framework that laid out by the Noble One, very great training ground for you to practice. So I hope that your New resolution, one way or the other, involves to I will determine to practice such and such out, and I will keep the precept in this and such way. Take the one that is suitable for your capacity, and when you already pick up your goal, then try your best to keep that rules, and that will be the way. Then when you go to the seclusion, you have some refuge. You can refuge on your own practice, rely on your moral conduct and moral compass, and the seclusion for you will be rather than something that you want to avoid, something that is opportunity for you to develop, to see yourself, and to be free from all suffering. Okay, so I will leave the Dhamma talk for you today.
Annamayang Dhamma Kathaya Sadhu Karang Dadamase Sadhu 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 Anumodami. Thank you, Tan Ajahn, for the teaching. Let us pay respect to Tan Ajahn again by bowing 3 times. First bow. Second bow. Third bow. We will invite Tan Ajahn to lead us in the closing homage.
Okay, so before closing, if anybody want to post a question for Q&A session, so you can post it on the line, so I can bring it up for the next talk. Okay, so we're closing together. Arahang Samma Sambuddho Bhagava Buddhang Bhagavantam Abhivademi. Sawakhato Bhagavata Dhammo Dhammang Namasami. Supatipanno Bhagavato Sāvaka Saṅkho Saṅkhang Namami. Okay.
Ajahn, see you Ajahn next Friday.
Next